So Walt Whitman is a poet, uh, and he's an American poet. So we are going to study his poem, A Song of the Open Road. Walt Whitman, 1819 to 1892, was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. And Whitman is among the most influential poets in the American canon and is often called the father of free verse. He grew up in Huntington in a family with difficult economic status. His major work, Leaf of Grass, was published in 1855. His O Captain, My Captain, a poem written on the death of Abraham Lincoln, is widely popular. Now, students, the poet Walt Whitman is an essayist. He was a journalist, and he is majority of his poems were written in free verse. That's why the poet is also called as a father of free verse. Free verse, an American first democratic poet is Walt Whitman. So his ideas, his thoughts were very liberal, and the poem that we are going to learn today is from the collection called as Leaves of Grass. Leaves of Grass is a collection of poem, and this poem that we are going to learn today, Song of the Open Road, is one of the poem from the collection called as Leaves of Grass, which was published in 1855. Let's see further. The section 1 of Song of the Open Road from Leaves of Grass is a beautiful blend of self-awareness, free will, and tenderness of heart. Okay, as I told you that the Song of the Open Road is from the collection called as the Leaves of Grass. This one, Leaves of Grass. And the poem Song of the Open Road, the original poem, it is of 15 stanzas, but the poem which is mentioned in your textbook is only one section out of those 15 stanzas. Okay, so the section 1, therefore it is mentioned, the section 1 of the poem of Song of the Open Road from Leaves of Grass is a beautiful blend of self-awareness, free will, and tenderness of heart. It gives us poets realization that along the journey of life, one will face a test of wisdom which is not tested in any school or university. A road is something everyone uses, whether rich or poor, and it forces all levels of people to associate with one another. The road signifies mobility. Mobility means what? Movement. This means movement. Okay. One can take the road as a point to start over towards something new. Whitman talks about the people and places. He argues against staying in one place for too long. Although the hospitality may be true. Now here the poet means that the poet is about to set out on a road journey, and the poet, he says that this journey which I'm going to start now is out of my own free will, and the theme of this poem, students, is freedom. Okay, so the poet wants his freedom. The poet wants to be liberal, and that's why the poet has set out on a journey, and which he has decided a new step in his life. So basically, the road over here is not an ordinary, it's not a road that we walk on, but here the word road represents the journey of life. And the poet is going to start a journey of his life, a new journey of his life out of his free will. And the road also represents the freedom in your life, because road cannot restrict you. Wherever you want, you can walk. So there is no restriction. So that's why the word road over here represents the journey of life. And because the poet is about to start a new journey of his life, so that's why the title is Song of the Open Road. So here the poet says, when on this road, or this journey of life will give you a true wisdom which is not tested in any school or university. No school or university can give you this uh, wisdom that you can learn while traveling on the journey of life. Okay, so let's see what's there in the poem. Let's begin. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Healthy, free the world before me. Long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. Henceforth, I ask not good fortune. I myself am good fortune. Henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms. Strong and content, I travel the open road. The earth that is sufficient, I do not want the constellation any nearer. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Still, here I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women. I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them, and I am filled with them, and I will fill them in return. So, students, the first line, afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. The poet has started a journey afoot. Afoot means what? Means on foot. So the poet has started a journey afoot, and he is light-hearted. Light-hearted means the poet is optimistic about this new journey of life, and he is also cheerful. Okay, so the poet has started a journey afoot. He is optimistic, he is cheerful, and he has decided to take the open road. Now, the open road, as I told you, is the journey of life. And why the word open road is used? Because there is no restrictions when you want to walk on road. But if you think about your home, if you're at home, it is restricted. You're surrounded by the four walls. You cannot go wherever you want. Obviously, there is a restrictions, but road is open. As long as you want, you can keep walking. Therefore, the poet has started a new journey of his life. So the poet says that he is prepared to set out on the open road on foot, and he is light-hearted. He is all set to follow the road of his dream. The poet recognizes that it is he who is in control of the life, of his own life and his journey. And it is he who will decide his destiny, and his destiny is in his own hands. See the next line, healthy, free the world before me. Now, healthy, free is basically is talking about the journey of life or the road. The road of this journey is healthy, free. So here it means that the words in the poem appears that the road is calming, the road is freeing, and is much like its tone and the mood of the poem. So how is the mood of the poem? It is relaxing and it is cheerful. Whether the theme of the poem is freedom, okay, and the tone or the mood of the poem is relaxing and cheerful. So same what the poet is feeling, that when he set out on this journey afoot, very optimistic, very cheerful, light-hearted, when he started walking on the journey of life, he feels that the roads are healthy, free, and the world is open for him. There are no restrictions. He can walk, he can choose whatever path he wants to choose. The long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. So he says, what does this mean? Basically, this is a metaphor. The word, the long brown path, this is a metaphor for the word freedom. Okay, leading me wherever I choose. That means the path is free, and there are no end, there are no boundaries, there is no limits. He can walk wherever he wants. So it's a metaphor for the word freedom. Okay. Aditi, most of the words used in this poem are metaphor. The poem itself is a metaphor, so that's why such words like healthy and road and road, that is referring to the word life. So such words are used. So because it's a metaphor, so the long brown path before me is metaphor for freedom, and that the poet has to follow his own unique path through life, and also it gives a sense of optimism. Okay. So henceforth I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Now here the poet says that he describes himself as a good fortune. He does not want to rely on any good luck. Good fortune over here means good luck or okay some opportunities to enter in his life, nothing as such. So he doesn't need any fate or any good luck in his life. He believes himself to be his own good fortune. Okay, he describes himself as a good fortune. He does not want to rely on any good luck. Now, this line basically indicates self-confidence. Okay, students, this means that the poet is quite confident about himself now. And the next line, henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. The poet does not whimper. What is the meaning of whimper? It is already mentioned here in the text. If you could see this, whimper means to cry and whimper means to complain. So henceforth, from now onwards, the poet is not going to complain anymore. He will not postpone anything in his life, and he is not going to need anybody or anything or any kind of assistance or help in his life anymore, because he believes that he himself is his own good fortune and he's not going to cry, he's not going to postpone any work, or he will need nothing. He is done with the indoor complaints and libraries and querulous criticisms. So basically, here the poet is saying that he is self-reliant now and he is positive about his life. So henceforth, the poet is not going to complain anymore, and he's not going to postpone his work anymore, and he needs nobody in his life. So this gives us a glimpse of his past, that earlier the poet used to complain, used to rely on people, and indoor complaints over here. This described that maybe earlier he had been enclosed indoors and complaining, and now he's done and he no longer do that. Okay, libraries means it may indicate like emotions in a person's life, because people have different emotions in life. Same way the library has many books, different type of books. So here he says that there is no room or there is no space for any emotions, no complaints, and no querulous criticism. Over here means people, negative people who used to criticize the poet. So he is not bothered anymore about this people in his life. Okay, next line. Strong and content, I travel the open road. Now the poet is feeling strong over here, because he has decided his own path and he has decided to live the life in his own way now, because he is not going to rely on anybody and he feels a sense of liberty and freedom. So that's why now this has given him a good motivation, as it was also mentioned earlier, that no school or university is going to teach you or going to give you the wisdom that life is going to give you. So when he choose to walk on this journey, or when he choose the freedom for himself, now he is motivated and he's not relied on anybody. So he himself is feeling a sense of confidence. As you know, sometimes what happens, see, you are relied on somebody, you need help, you feel like you won't be able to do this particular task alone, you want somebody to motivate you, you want somebody to help you. But what if there is nobody to help you? What if nobody's supporting you? Obviously, you have to do your work all on your own. And when you start performing individually, alone, you learn and you become strong. When you face your situations, still people are joining. Okay, so when you start facing the situation all alone, you become strong, and then you know the pros and cons of the situation, and you start feeling a self-confidence. Same happened with the poet. He dropped all the past habits of relying on people and everything, and now he started feeling independent. He's feeling strong and content. Content means he's feeling satisfied and happy. Okay. The earth that is sufficient. Now, the earth is enough to provide for the needs of the poet. He doesn't need anybody. He feels that nature itself has the power, and nature itself is sufficient for the poet. He doesn't need anything apart from that. He doesn't need any people in his life to help him. He feels that the earth is sufficient on this road or on this journey of life. I do not want the constellations any nearer. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. So this is end of this stanza. Now constellation. Constellation over here means it's given over here influential group of people with reference to the poem. So constellation means this may be you can take the example of your teacher, or you can take the example of your friends or your parents who kind of influence you, motivate you in your life. Now here the poet does not need anybody, any influential group or any fate or destiny to support him. He thinks that nothing is needed, and he will choose what he want to do, and he believes that he's strong enough to achieve or accomplish okay, the situation of his life. He can accomplish whatever he wants. So he doesn't need anybody. He doesn't need any constellation, and uh, this line is basically a strong contrast to the rest of the poem, because where the speaker is here, the speaker is emphasizing his free will. Okay, and also there is a sense of independence in this particular line, which means that he probably does not include himself in any group of people who belong to any constellation or influential group. Okay, so he doesn't need anyone. I know they are very well where they are. Okay, so all these things, like if we talk about fate and destiny, there are many things which is good enough, and he believes that wherever they are good at that particular spot or that particular place. I know they suffice for those who belong to them, but he doesn't need it anymore. Suffice means
Sufficient.
Sufficient.
yes. So basically, to satisfy the needs or requirement. Okay, here. Okay, so he does not need this anymore. And here he also emphasizes free will and independence. He is not including himself in the influential group, and he believes that whatever constellations are there in this world or for the people, it's good enough, and it is good for the satisfaction of the people who need it, but the poet doesn't need it anymore. Let's see the last stanza of this poem. Still here, still here, I carry my old delicious burden. Now, this is a paradox. Okay, how can a burden be delicious? But students, there's a fact in this as well. I'll explain you. Still here, I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women. I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them, and I am filled with them, and I will fill them in return. Now, this basically is an afterthought of this poem, and that the poet has thrown in. But this is also a very important part of this poem. The poet accepts the fact over here that even if he follows the dream of, even if he's following his heart, and he has the liberty to fulfill his dream, but he is carrying all the burdens of life together with him. So here, you feel that if somebody has given me the opportunity to live my life according to my own free will, that means there is no burden, there won't be any restrictions. Because now I have to follow so many people, I have to follow my teacher, I have to follow my parents, I have to follow this and that. But what if I live my life according to my own free will? I don't have to listen to anybody. That means my life will be stress free. No, this is the wrong thinking. because here the poet, you can see you can have the example of the poet himself, that he has taken his own decision in life and he's following his heart. He is has having the sense of liberty to fulfill his dream, but still there is a burden in his life. Now this delicious burden over here means this could be the relationships that he's leaving behind, or this could be the attachments, or this could be the past memories that he is gonna carry along with himself. So these are obviously the burdens, but he has termed it as delicious because these are the sweet memories, and that he believes that he is gonna carry along with him. He is gonna meet many people on this journey of road of his life, but he says that he is not free. He is carrying this burden along with him wherever he will go in his life, and it is impossible to get rid of this delicious burden. You can never feel that if you are living your life in your own, according to your own free will, that means there is no burden in your life. It will be stress free. No life can be stress free. So you have to carry the baggage everywhere you go. Okay, so that's what we learned from this poem. Now, quickly, we'll just